So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in this world, and welcome to a brand new episode of Is It That Bad? Where we take a look at an album that maybe got mixed reviews. In the case of this album, I couldn't find a lot of reviews, at least not on Wikipedia. And today's episode, we're talking about an album by a legendary actor. Not only was he a legendary actor, he fought in World War II. He is in two big movie franchises, history, Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. So I'm talking about the great late Christopher Lee. So apparently in the 2010s, he decided at 80 years old that he wanted
87.
at 87 years old was that he wanted to sing symphonic metal. So for this episode, we're talking about Christopher Lee. And you know what? I knew of these albums, but I've never listened to them. But Rocco said we should talk about it. So this is the album we're going to talk about. His first album in 2010, and it's Charlemagne is it by the, what's the name? By the Sword and the...
By the Sword and the Cross.
By the Sword and the Cross. And here you have Christopher Lee looking as epic as ever. So yes,
he looks like that knight from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, that's true.
I cannot see.
You chose wisely.
Yes. So we're gonna talk about this album. So I'm joined, as you can see, by Rock of All Ages. So first of all, what do you guys think of the cover?
Kind of cool.
I mean, it's epic.
It looks...
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Lee had like that cool voice, like come on. He was Saruman.
Yeah.
Sadly, he was also Count Dooku. That's one of the worst names for a villain ever. Like who greenlit? We should name him Count Dooku.
I'm still convinced.
That's George Lucas.
Do you subscribe to the Darth Jar Jar theory?
What's the Darth Jar Jar?
Okay, so the fan theory is that Jar Jar Binks was going to be revealed as a major villain, but because he was because the fans hated him in the first movie, they replaced him with Count Dooku.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Jar Jar being a villain.
I don't know about that.
There's a very elaborate fan theory on Reddit, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah. So, but Count Dooku, yeah, that just that name, it's horrible. Count Dookie.
I like Green Day too.
So this album came in 2010, and apparently I was reading, apparently Christopher Lee, he had some relation to Charlemagne.
I do have something about that in my notes. We'll get to it.
Yeah. So as you can see, we have Rocco.
Yes.
Here. We have Lorenzo the Professor.
How's it going?
Who, if you guys haven't seen the shorts, we sang some karaoke.
Oh, we did sing some karaoke, yes.
For my birthday. When people are watching this, my birthday was like a month ago, but we did sing karaoke for my birthday, and it was epic. I sang I realized sometimes I sing like Count Chocula.
Oh, he doesn't. I don't know how he realized it now, because he sang all songs like he was Count Chocula. No, not Count Chocula. I'm sorry. He was the Count from Sesame Street.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Yes.
But yes, this was a fun night. But we're here to discuss Christopher Lee.
Oh, and we're here with JC.
And JC, yes, I was going about this. So the Professor and JC. So we're gonna, everyone knows the rounds. We have the first round where we're gonna talk about our first impressions of when we listen to this album. The second round, where we can pick 3 or 4 songs.
Ooh.
And the last round, round number 3, where we give our last impressions of this record, and we give it a thumbs up, a thumbs sideways, or a thumbs down. So today we are all, I feel like we're lords.
Lords of the Rings.
Lord, the Lord of the couch. So today, let's start, since the speak was by Rocco, we're gonna do Rocco, Lorenzo the Professor, and JC, and then me. And I'm thinking JC will like this one because JC does a lot of history too on his channel. So Rocco, give us your first impressions of this album. And also, why did you pick this album? Because I was trying to, I couldn't find like a lot of reviews for it.
I remember reading that this album existed, and then I just kind of forgot about it. I forgot how I came across it recently, but when I did, I was like, oh, we got to talk about this one. In case any viewers jump to conclusions, though, we are not debating that Christopher Lee was awesome. He was.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
The dude was a legend.
Yes. What we're discussing is whether this album is any good. And on paper, it seems like it could have been. Because when Sir Christopher Lee was much younger, he apparently had the opportunity to pursue a career in opera, but instead he pursued acting. And from what I read, he was a really good singer. So he could have been successful at opera if he chose that. And as far as metal, if he had made a metal album like 20 years earlier, it might have been amazing. Like, imagine Sir Christopher Lee making an album like this in the early to mid 90s when symphonic metal and progressive metal were taking off. That probably would have kicked ass. Crucially, Sir Christopher Lee would have probably had a bigger vocal range, however slightly. As it stands, while Sir Christopher Lee was really enthusiastic about making this album, the team that worked on it with him must have felt uneasy about letting an 87-year-old man sing by himself for an hour. And that's without accounting for the possibility that he had to do multiple takes. So this album doesn't just have Sir Christopher Lee singing as Charlemagne, Holy Roman Emperor and King of the Franks. No. There's a whole ensemble cast, along with narration from Sir Christopher Lee's actual daughter, Christina.
I didn't know.
Yes. So there are actors and singers playing figures like Charlemagne's father, Pepin the Short, Charlemagne's second wife, Hildebrand, and Pope Adrian I. Sadly, despite his incredibly important role in Charlemagne's life, Papa Rico Suave I was written out of this adaptation. I've been asked by Papa Rico Suave VII to air that grievance on his behalf. But I'm not judging this album on historical accuracy. A conceptual symphonic metal album by Sir Christopher Lee simply should have been more interesting. I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's the kind of album you only really need to hear once. You can barely even hear the metal guitar in 1 or 2 songs. The main reason, as Hector alluded to, the main reason Sir Christopher Lee wanted to make this album was because he discovered his ancestry could be traced to Charlemagne. However, as one critic pointed out, because Charlemagne had at least like 20 kids by multiple wives and concubines, virtually everyone of European ancestry is a distant relative of Charlemagne. Tom the Green Man is probably related to him, and you don't see him making an album about it. I'll say more in the next round.
When you watch this, come on, tell us if you're related. Yeah. Tom will do a shoegaze version.
I would love that.
Yeah. Nice. So are those your initial thoughts, man?
Yes.
Nice. So what about you, Lorenzo?
Well, I mean, I think all of us knew who Christopher Lee was, probably from, either Saruman, Lord of the Rings, or Star Wars, but he was also very, very, very well known for being a Bond villain as well, and also being, a classic, Dracula from the Hammer films back in the 40s and 50s. So this guy has lived a life that's, if I lived 10 lifetimes, I don't think I would be able to do what Christopher Lee did in one lifetime. He did more than 2,200 films. It's incredible. So I remember when he did the guest spot on Rhapsody's album
Yeah.
back a couple of years back, and I thought that was so cool because he does have, he was classically trained as a singer, so you can obviously tell that he's classically trained. It's just that maybe he should have never have been the main vocalist in an album.
Or at least not at that age.
Not at that age, yes. I think he works well as somebody who was covering, or not covering, I mean backing
Like a guest vocal.
main singer, the lead vocalist. Whenever the song did not need him as the main character, that was probably a little bit better of the songs because these songs are not that good. But and that's not even talking about the later album where he took the audio from the first album that was recorded without the metal music, and then it was just put on top of the metal music, and it's just is not in sync at all. It's terrible, but
there's Christopher looking at you, man.
I know, and I hate,
why does he look like
to say this?
You know that crown that you get from Burger King? Why does it look like he's wearing that?
No, I wouldn't say Burger King. I would say medieval times.
Also accurate.
But yeah, so those are my first thoughts, and I'll get into it a little bit later.
Nice. So what about you, JC? Did anyone listen to this album when it came out?
Nope.
No, I mean, I heard about it, but I didn't listen to it until we decided to do this episode. But so for me, I found it interesting, but it wasn't. I was expecting something different. I felt it was more of like an opera instead of a metal album. I was expecting something like symphonic metal, but you can barely hear any guitars or anything. It sounded more like an opera. I think you start to hear metal towards the second half of the album a little bit. But that's what I noticed with this album, is that you might go into it expecting one thing with the album cover, and you're expecting. He has this like deep baritone voice. I think he sings pretty well. I think his voice works well for an opera, but I think the music could have been something else. For example, this album has a lot of those like narrations, and they're talking about history, so it kind of makes me think a little bit of the band Sabaton. So maybe if he had done something more in that type of style, where he's talking about the history, you got the narration, and that would have worked. Maybe more of that like Sabaton power metal, that would have sounded a little better. But this really sounded more like an opera. It wasn't a metal album. That's what I thought. So I found that interesting. I think the story is interesting, but it's really not what I expected. So those are my initial thoughts, but I'll elaborate more later.
Yes.
It sounds like your dogs are very opinionated.
Yeah, the dogs are like, we want to discuss Charlemagne. So
yeah.
my first impressions. So I didn't know what I was going to get into myself. So there's a lot of intros, like to the album, like explaining the history. So it almost feels like you're watching the History Channel, but with some music on it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit long. It's like an hour long, and Like you could feel that it's long. And I think who said that this is an album to just listen to once? Was that Lorenzo?
No, that was me.
Yeah, I agree.
Rocco.
I listened to this once and I made my notes.
Mhm.
I live because I'm like, yeah, do I need to re-listen to this more than once? No. But Christopher Lee, like I agree with you. Like if like a younger version of Christopher Lee would have like he does that operatic voice well, and he's always had a commanding voice because when you think of Saruman and like their voice, his voice
Yes.
really like those actors that have like an impressive voice like James Earl Jones. It's just
Oh, yes.
Christopher Lee had that type of voice, like that memorable,
The very deep, commanding voice.
who should have not have been named Count Dooku. Like so many names. First of all, why was he a count? Like everyone else was a Jedi or a Sith. Why the fuck was he a count? Because he
was Christopher Lee.
was Dracula once.
Oh, I never made that connection. Oh my God.
That has to be it.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
Is that? It reminds me of how like Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber. Like, are you gonna tell him no?
Yeah, he was the only one to have the purple lightsaber. But yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, maybe that's why he was named Count Dooku. But listening to this album, by first impression, and well, the time I listened to it, which was yesterday, because we were going to do this episode a day before, but stuff happened. So today I didn't or maybe I put a few songs on, but with fast forward stuff to check. But yeah, but it has some interesting parts. But also, this album is cheesy as fuck. Like the cheese, like come on. He looks like he's like welcome to medieval times. But yeah, so it's interesting. So yeah, it's definitely an experience, like a history channel. But I found, like JC said, that it said that it was more symphonic metal, but I felt it was more operatic in the approach. But you know what? I gotta say, Christopher Lee sometimes sounds better than the guest vocalist on here. I didn't even write down the guest vocalists, but some of them sound like shit. So let's go.
Yep.
Let's go to round two, where we give the picks of our worst songs. So Rocco, which songs did you pick?
So my third worst is King of the Franks. The phrase
Yeah.
that came to mind multiple times across this album was, "This sounds like a bad musical." This being the first real song on the album went a long way towards establishing that. And then second worst is The Age of Oneness Out of Diversity. There's no rhythm in the singing here. It's not catchy at all, which I mean, as I said, it makes me think of a musical, and like musical should ideally have a memorable song. And then my least favorite song, The Iron Crown of Lombardy.
Oh.
Just take what I said about the previous two songs and put them together.
Okay.
Okay.
Good picks. What about you, Lorenzo?
Okay. So any song that was not an intro, those songs were all on my list. I hated all of those songs.
Oh man.
and this album is better than the metal album. So
Ooh.
imagine how bad the metal album is.
Lorenzo, I listened to the song and I'm like, oh yeah, this is bad. Because the music doesn't go with the voice.
It's terrible, but I mean, why can I mean, all of those you mentioned, Rocco, I did not like them, but I think the most egregious one you didn't put on your list, which was the bloody verdict of, of Burden.
Consider that a dishonorable mention.
That song is trash. And I hate to say, I mean, I hate to trash this because like we said in the beginning, Christopher Lee, I mean,
absolute legend.
Absolute legend. This does not take away from anything he's ever done. And even doing this is like, you know, freaking impressive. That said, these songs, I mean, it's just, they're not, it's boring. They're boring. And when you think it's going to be interesting, which I think the one that I thought was going to be the most interesting song, The Bloody Verdict of Burden, is all about, I killed how many,
I shed the blood of the Saxon man.
I shed the blood of the Saxon man, and I shed the blood of the Saxon man, and it's like, oh my God, this is not good. This is not good at all.
Video. What was the budget for that video?
I don't know.
$2.
The music video was pretty bad. It's hard with this album because I'm not sure if I would even call it an album. I don't think it's a music album. And this is gonna be, I was gonna say it on my last thoughts, but I'm just gonna say it right now. I think this is like an audiobook with background music. This is like an audiobook of the Wikipedia page for Charlemagne. That's what this album is. So it's, I mean, it's just the worst thing it is, it's boring. It's not entertaining. It doesn't give you it doesn't make you wanna, I mean, it made me want to go and learn more about Charlemagne, yes. But it doesn't make you want to listen to it again at all. Because there's no song that'll draw you in. And the song that they picked to be the single, I think it was the worst song. So I don't know. I picked all of them except the intros. I like the intros because there was nobody singing.
Then Charlemagne came to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it sounds like the History Channel with some background music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I have the music video on now. When I said the budget was $2, I was being generous.
It's pretty bad.
Wow.
$1 was for Christopher Lee. Yes, the music video, it's something. Lorenzo's like,
we need to put a link to that in the video description.
yes, maybe there's a way that I could edit this and put part of the video. I don't know, no, because then I have to use the YouTube that you pay, and it's like pay $18.
Oh, fuck that!
I'm gonna pay $8 for YouTube. Like you don't even pay me that, YouTube. So yeah, so good pick. So basically every song
that's not an intro.
So like half the album.
Basically. I mean yes, except I like the instrumental ones.
Oh yeah, because there was no singing.
Yeah.
Nice picks. What about you, JC?
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like an album. Like I was saying, it sounds more like an opera or like watching the History Channel. So I think I'm gonna pick the intro tracks like just as one pick. I think they take away from the music. It's just basically all spoken. So my first pick is gonna be like the 5 intros. And then after that, King of the Franks, because it's the first main song. And it's just really boring. It's slow. Like there's really no music to it. It's just really him singing with like some orchestral in the background. So I found that one kind of boring, and it's long. It's 7 minutes. And then the next one, the Iron Crown of Lombardy, 8-minute song. Again, it's very boring. So I think this album is like really slow to start. I think as you get to Act 3 and Act 4, it picks up maybe a little bit. But that's just like saying a lot. But otherwise, I found these songs boring. So that's all I'll say for now. And then I'll give you my final thoughts later. So.
Okay. So that leaves me. So I also picked the bloody verdict of bird well, whatever, the bloody verdict. Like that's the one with the music video. And like I shed the blood of the Saxon man. I don't know why it sounded like I thought of Shrek.
Oh, wait, no. The next Shrek movie needs to do a parody of this video.
Yeah, but in Shrek it would have been the Muffin Man. The Muffin. But yeah, I thought of Shrek for something. I'm like, this sounds like a Shrek song. But Christopher Lee's not the worst thing on that song. The dude that sings on that song, I don't know who the fuck he is. I forgot to put his name, Michael. He's atrociously bad. And the bad thing is that I don't think he knows he's bad. And like when an 87-year-old is doing a better job than you, God, dude, you suck. What's the name of the dude that sings on the music video? He has like a sword and he moves it, but then you have Christopher Lee there with a sword and he looks cooler. Like
Hang on.
I don't know which one
They credit the guest vocalists on Apple Music. It's a guy named
There's Phil SP who's pepping the short. There's Mauro Conti, Pope Hadrian. There's Vincent Ricciardi who's Charlemagne as a young man.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah.
Whoever he is, he sucked. So I picked him. I also picked King of the Franks because the melodrama is up to 11. He's like, I am here. Who are you? I am Charlemagne. I come to rule. See, I'm still with the karaoke. So I don't know. It was just so over the top with King of the Franks. I picked Starlight because this is like he's singing with some woman there, and and I don't know. I just thought it was very cheesy.
That's supposed to be Charlemagne's wife.
Well, yeah, it was cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, I will make you my wife. And she, please come to bed after I conquer France. And then the intro.
You see how he sounds like the Count?
See?
And the Tony Award goes to.
So, and finally, I picked four ones. I couldn't do the same thing that Lorenzo did. The age of oneness and of diversity. I heard Trump doesn't like this one.
I really thought about making that joke.
he probably thinks Bad Bunny is singing this on this.
I just took a drink at that moment, at that exact moment. And the thing is, I thought about that joke as well.
So yeah, I thought of this joke for that. So yeah, I this one is just where he's like, I will decide to surrender. Like, I don't know, it was like too over the top as well. But I like the title. When I saw the diversity thing, I'm like, oh yes, that's golden. So
Yes.
I picked those poems down because this album it's like, I think, I don't know how seriously Christopher Lee was taking this. I no slight to him, he was a legend, but this is like the cheese factor on this album. It's like Bruce Dickinson's last album that I said was full of cheese. This one says to Bruce Dickinson, I have a bigger cheese. It's just cheesy and boring. It's kind of it is boring, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So we all gave songs. So now we're going to the third and final round where we give our final thoughts. And we both thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. So, Rocco?
It is, I guess in theory, nice that an album like this exists. But when I put it on, I don't hear the mighty King Charlemagne recounting his life in epic song. I hear a local community theater staging a musical about Charlemagne, with Charlemagne played by some octogenarian. It's cute, but inessential. I'm actually going to give it a thumb sideways.
What?
You're being kind. Dude, Rocco, are you afraid that Christopher Lee's gonna visit you as Count Drac? I'm like,
No. I I didn't. This is not a good album, but you know what? I could actually get through it pretty easily.
okay. And you learned something.
Yes, I did learn a few things.
Yes. So we got Fob Sideways. So Lorenzo, the professor, would you teach this at your class?
Oh no. I mean, actually, what I've heard, what I read, is that in terms of how historically accurate it is, it's apparently, well researched. Take that for a great. I don't know much about the history of Charlemagne, but that's what I read.
So they put more effort into the research than the songwriting.
Probably, yes, probably. I This album has so many problems. It's overlong. It's boring. It's the narration breaks up the music. It's the music is not that great, and the singing is pretty atrocious. I was expecting a metal album, a symphonic metal album. I got a symphonic. Yeah.
You got something.
a symphonic something with no metal. You can hardly hear the music sometimes. It's like the mixing was terrible. So this album had a lot of problems. I actually listened to, like I said before we started, I listened to the second album, to the metal album. That album has none of the narration, which makes it flow a little better, even though it's still 50 minutes, like an hour long, but it has none of the narration. So and and you could tell that the mixing was a little better in terms of the music and the vocals sounds, but but that one is also bad because of what I said already um about using basically the same vocals, the same track that they used in this album, they put it on top of the metal music. So it's pretty bad. In the first songs, to be fair, it's like the first 6 songs. What can I say? What else can I say? It's just it's not fun. It's not something I would ever listen to again. I had a hard time listening to this. I wish this was just basically. I wish Christopher Lee would have narrated a Netflix docuseries, and that
Or
would have been pretty amazing.
or here's an idea. Do a Sabaton album where he's doing the narration.
Oh, that would be freaking amazing. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. Uh, I mean, I would have even listened to him singing about his life. That would have been cool. That would have been a great album. But as it is, it's just impossible for me to recommend this to anybody. To anybody, anybody. Not even like a huge Christopher Lee fan. And I was surprised because when you listen to the review, when I read a couple of reviews for the second album, for the heavy metal one, and they were praising the album. And I was so blown away. I thought I was going crazy. I thought there was maybe I just heard the wrong thing. I just found the wrong album. So it's not good. I stay away from it unless you like pseudo operatic nonsense. But yeah, there's no way I can give this a thumb sideways. Even though I love Christopher Lee as Saruman. I love him as Count Dooku, even with the stupid name.
Do it. Do it.
I love his voice. I love his voice. He has such a deep voice, such a recognizable voice, but he can't sing. He can't sing anymore at that time. Now, he can't sing anymore now, but
No,
at
he's
that
dead,
time he
man.
couldn't sing.
What was that thing Robert said? He's dead, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Dead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to be this guy, but it's true. I mean, you can hear it in this album. So if he would have kept narrating or doing backing vocals, that would have been awesome. But no. So sadly, thumbs very, very, very much down.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait for the comment section for this one.
Oh.
Ooh.
It should be a fun, interesting comment section. So we have our thumbs sideways. And dude, you were doing the Emperor's voice.
Do it.
Yes.
Because I knew he was gonna do the thumbs down, so I was like, do it.
Yeah, that's where Christopher Lee and Count Dooku is like, it's clear that this bout won't be decided by our knowledge of the Force, but by our lightsaber skills, or some shit like
It
that.
will be decided on the couch.
It will be decided on the couch. So we have a thumbs sideways, a thumbs down. JC, your thoughts?
Okay, it's an interesting album. I don't think his singing is bad. I think he has a pretty decent voice for what he's singing. But it's more of an opera album. Like I said before, I was expecting a metal album. So I think if you go into it expecting more like either an opera or just like someone said audiobook before, it's something like that. So I think if that's what you're looking for, I think you could enjoy it. But I think for me, I don't really have any reason to ever listen to it again. I'm really not interested. If I ever wanted to learn about Charlemagne, I can go on YouTube and look up maybe to have an episode from the History Channel or some documentary that somebody made. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. But I don't really need to listen to something that's supposed to be a metal album to learn about Charlemagne. So I don't think it's bad for just for like what it is, but I think for me it's just not interesting. So I'm just gonna go thumbs down. It's just something I'm not interested in. I'll probably never go back to it. So that's all. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
So 2 thumbs down and 1 thumb sideways. So that leaves my last thoughts. So did you guys ever see the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe a long time ago, yeah.
The last part of the movie, he has a play about Van Helsing and Dracula. I thought of this album. And if I see Van Helsing, I will pay. See, that's my singing voice. I could do a Charlemagne album.
That should be your Halloween costume.
I may dress like a vampire. I'm actually I'm going to a party that we're all going to be dressed up. The theme's vampire. So, but you gotta. Me and my fiance, we thought of like a different vampire theme because and no kids, I'm not gonna dress like Twilight.
Oh, I was gonna say you should cover yourself in glitter.
No, hell no. I rather go as Blade, but I can't do that.
Okay, that's better. That's better.
Yes. But no, I'm not going as Blade. But yeah, this album it's like a history audiobook, but I think the thing is I think they're taking it seriously, and that's what's fucking hilarious about it. That seriously, and it's the type of album that's like it's so atrociously bad that it's good.
I can say that.
No, what that means is even though it's bad, it's like it's endearing. It's endearing, and Christopher Lee is a legend, but this is like I will never listen to this again. So I'm going to give my verdict informed song. Song. Why is this album that bad? Was it the history or the singing? Should I be thumbs up, sideways, or down? I feel conflicted because I love Christopher Lee so. But if I give it a thumbs up, I'm a fucking hypocrite. If I give a thumbs sideways, then I'm Rocco. So it's
You don't need to bring me into this.
thumbs down. I don't know. I just thought I'm like, well, let's just put Rocco, give it a thumbs down, a thumbs sideways. So you could have done the down tilted.
You know what? I did very briefly consider that.
It's only fun. So yes, 3 thumbs down, 2 thumbs sideways. So unfortunately, Charlemagne by Christopher Lee is that bad. But you know what? It's the type of bad that it's not like I'm pissed off at this record like some other records. It's just it's too cheesy and boring for me. So I cannot for the life of me say here and say that it's good. So yeah, but obviously Christopher Lee was a great actor.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And but unfortunately, this album is not his best his best thing. So yeah, so we want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Christopher Lee's Charlemagne album? He's got 20K subscribers in YouTube, by the way.
And he's been dead for a decade.
So prepare for the wrath of the Lees.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and I saw comments on that music video praising it. So I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, there was comments.
Oh, I bet
praising
there
it.
were.
Yes.
Oh
like,
God.
they're gonna come for us. But like that's why we said it. We have nothing against Christopher Lee. We're just rating this album as music. So yeah, so I want to thank first of all, Rocco. Thank you for bringing this to our attention because this album was made for this series. So
Absolutely.
Rocco, or today you're Sir Rocco.
Sir Rocco. No, Count Rocco.
Count Rocco of
Count Rocco.
Baltimore.
I love it.
Yes. So Count Rocco, what have you coming up next, man?
So Hector and I did a video that's gonna go up on my channel shortly after this. We talked about an Aerosmith album from the 80s. Not one of the big ones, no, but stay tuned and find out.
And it's funny because before we started, he told me, "Oh, I'm putting that Aerosmith video." I'm like, "We did an Aerosmith video?"
Yes.
I'm like, "We did? Oh yeah, I remember now." So yeah, so that's coming up. And Lorenzo, is there a date for your channel?
No, there's no dates yet, but it'll come. It'll come.
Oh, I forgot. I have a video with Lorenzo too.
Yeah. I was wondering.
What did you discuss?
Alice in Chains, self-titled.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
With an interesting discussion, yes.
Nice.
So it's coming, but I'll just leave you all with a quote. You have elected the way of pain.
Yes, and I don't know if you haven't seen, me and Lorenzo did a sweet version of Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Oh, I love that song.
Yes.
we even did the robot when we were dancing to it. And finally, obviously, JC, thank you for I think JC, I think you're like in plus 80 episodes of 80 of Is It That
Probably, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure I hit 80 by now. Yeah,
it's
I
a
think
lot.
last count was 75, but yeah.
Yeah, so JC, obviously, thank you for doing this, and obviously follow JC. He has 2 channels, one where he talks about new releases and rock history, and another where he shows physical media.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's done some good reviews lately. But when these come out, there's a ton of more new reviews. So subscribe to him. And finally, for Is It That Bad? We're nearing the end of this season. We have a few more episodes and the finale. So I know I think we're gonna talk about 2 more albums, and then we'll do the Is It That Bad season finale. But the next episode is for Korn, The Path of Totality.
Yes.
So that's the next episode. And then we're doing an episode for that Brady suggested for the Amity Affliction. So and after that, I'm thinking because it'll be November, and we'll do like the finale, and then I'm thinking we'll start sometime in the new year by covering Kid Rock again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
because he wasn't picked to play Super Bowl. Yes, so yeah, well, please everyone subscribe to our channels. Tell us what you think of this album, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Is It That Bad? Please subscribe to my channel so I can get paid.